Hello Visioneers, and welcome to Small Business Celebration. And we're continuing our series on small businesses that are rising from the recession. And we are in the annals of the Mechanics Bank arena to speak to our guest this week, who's going to talk about how we can skate our business into success. This is Small Business Celebration. Join us as we learn from successful business owners and successful business leaders about who they are, from where their business has grown, what they have learned, and where their successful business is going. I'm your host, Michael I. Roberts, and we're going to learn something that you can use today to grow a strong and profitable business. Hello Visioneers, and welcome to Small Business Celebration. And our guest this week is Matt Riley of the Bakersfield Condors. Welcome to Small Business Celebration.
Thanks, great to be here.
For Visioneers who don't know who you and what is it that you do?
Matthew Riley, president of the Bakersfield Condors professional hockey team. Oversee the business operations and hopefully put butts in the seats.
For Visioneers who don't know, what possessed you to get into the sports world?
Well, it was, I think a lot of folks as kids, dream of being in, the major leagues or professional athlete or whatever it is, and I was certainly no different. Played baseball up through college and clearly wasn't good enough to go on after that. So, just wanted to remain in sports in one form or fashion, and, one thing led to another, and here we are today.
One of the things that often gets bemoaned in professional sports is the realization to some fans that there is a business behind the sports, and you do have to make money in doing this. And this is that's your chief responsibility here in Condors Town, is to make the team profitable and keep it profitable. And you got your start not in hockey, but in baseball?
Yeah, actually got a undergrad degree in communications and business, and then did a internship in college with the St. Louis Cardinals, who, being from the Midwest, that was kind of my dream team, and great experience. Moved to St. Louis for 6 months, slept on the floor of a studio apartment, but got to meet like Stan Musial and Bob Costas and Harry Carey and Whitey Herzog and Ozzie Smith and the Hall of Famers.
Right.
And then ended up getting a master's in sport management. And then sent my resume out to every team that existed and got no replies. And so ended up begging the general manager of the Chattanooga Lookouts, a minor league team for the Cincinnati Reds at the time, for a job, and said, I'll do whatever you want and whenever you want it. And so he brought me on. It was a very small staff, and day one I cleaned popcorn machines and did everything that needed to be done to run a minor league baseball operation, including pulling tarp. And then things evolved from there. As
your career evolved, you actually rose through the ranks and you became the general manager of a very successful minor league baseball team, did you not?
Yeah, when I was 28 years old, I thought I knew everything and could run a team. And so my boss, Bill Davidson, he helped me get a job of a team that was just starting up, and it was down in Mobile, Alabama. It was an independent team. We played on University of South Alabama campus. We retrofitted the stadium and then had success, led the league in attendance, and 2 years later the Southern League, so a professional league, wanted to come in and build a new stadium. Hank Aaron's from Mobile. They named it Hank Aaron Stadium, so we built a brand new stadium in Mobile, Alabama, led the league in attendance, and it was really a great undertaking and a great result.
The success of that team and what you were able to do with it caught the eye of an owner who already owned another minor league baseball team, but he was opening up a new hockey team. There's this notion out there that it's not what you know, but who you know. But in your case, it's more apropos to say it's not what you know, but who knows you, is it not?
Well, I had done a good job, and it wasn't just me, obviously, but the folks that had been hired, and then as a staff, we set some attendance records in minor league baseball, and certainly were kind of known throughout the industry. And so the owner, Jonathan Fleissig, had bought the Bakersfield Fog at the time here. They played in the convention center. Our baseball season had just got over. I actually just came out more as a favor on a short notice to get them ready for their last season as the arena was being built. It was supposed to come out for 3 weeks. One thing led to another, and here we are about 23 years later. Went from Fog to the Condors in a new building, which now is not a new building, but it still held its youth pretty well.
The Condors have gone from one iteration and now have moved into a new iteration from the ECHL to the ACHL?
AHL, and actually it's our third league, but I can correct you on that.
That's fine. And with those evolutions, you have been able to keep this franchise more than profitable, but actually rather successful, have you not?
Yeah, we started as the West Coast Hockey League. There were from 6 to 8 teams, so a very small league where you're playing the same team over and over again, and those were days where players, a lot of players had played in the NHL. So instead of going up to the NHL, kind of they were coming down, if you will.
Right.
And so certainly some differences, but. That league was then absorbed by the ECHL, that was the East Coast Hockey League, but it doesn't make any sense to have a team in Bakersfield in the East Coast Hockey League, obviously, so it was named the ECHL, and all the teams in California came in. I was actually the acting commissioner of the West Coast Hockey League during that last year as we were brought into the ECHL, which is kind of the double A of professional hockey. And then now this is our 6th year in the American Hockey League, so AAA hockey, one step away from the NHL. It's very exciting that our players go up and down on a continual basis, and one night we'll be in our starting lineup here, and the next night we'll be in a starting lineup down at Staples Center or wherever the Oilers are playing.
And all this growth has come from the team of people you have built here and maintain here. And I don't know about you, Visioneer Nation, but I'm very much ready for hockey season to resume again. What was Condors Town reaction to the current COVID situation we're in?
Obviously, it's been challenging for everybody, and we've been blessed with a loyal fan base and a great community, and the season ticket holders have stuck by us. It's been tremendous, and usually we would start in October.
Right.
Now it's January, and we're going to get started in February, and the season's going to be shorter, and we're not sure how many fans are going to be let in or when fans are going to be let in. So, but they stuck by us. Our sponsors have stuck by us. It's been great. We've assured them we're not going anywhere, and we didn't have to assure them that we weren't going anywhere.
Right.
So it's just a matter of when things can, when we can get fans in the stands again, when we can begin making I remember moments, and when we can back to our business, which is really family entertainment and fun.
One of the things that some business owners have an intrepidation about is working with the municipal government, and yet your position with the Condors organization is very integral with working with the city, because the city owns the arena, the city owns the practice facilities, and yet you are very popular with many of the people within the city, and as a result that has also rolled over into the success of the Condors organization. How have you nurtured those relationships with the city to help the Condors be a successful organization?
Well, we're not successful on our own, and it takes partners to be successful in anything you're doing. Mm-hmm. And the players are here to get to the National Hockey League, but the Condors franchise is here for the community. We're a community asset. We're a place where people go to have fun and see a great product. And same with maybe a concert or a family show or whatever. So there's always obstacles, there's always roadblocks, speed bumps, whatever you want to call them. But you pick your battles and you sit down and figure it out together, because at the end of the day, it's got to work. So how are we going to figure out how to make this happen?
If Visioneers want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
324-PUCK, 324-7825. Email mattar@bakersfieldcondors.com. I'm on LinkedIn. Try to get back to people in a pretty quick manner.
And what's your website?
Condorstown.com.
Sounds good. And if you enjoy Small Business Celebration, go ahead and reach out to us on our social media platforms. And go ahead on this program here on YouTube, go ahead and like, subscribe, notify, and leave a comment. We love hearing your comments or reading your comments. And those comments and questions actually get asked by our guests, which you will also get to hear and see in the next segment. And when we come back, if you'll notice, there is a framed jersey right behind me of one of the landmark marketing episodes here with the Bakersfield Condors. That was a lot of fun, a lot of work, and successful. It's a new year and a new you. This is the year you communicate your business more clearly, more succinctly, and more effectively to your clients, your customers, and your employees. Set your business ahead of COVID and ahead of your competition by joining Toastmasters. Toastmasters, the fun and relaxed group of leaders who will help you get ahead. Go to toastmasters.org and click on the Find a Club button and set your business ahead of COVID and ahead of your competition. Go to toastmasters.org and click on the Find a Club button. That's toastmasters.org and click on the Find a Club button today. We are here in the equipment room here in Condors Town. We have left the lockers and gone to where all the important stuff as far as the gear goes here in Condors Town. And we are with our guest, Matthew Riley, the president of the Bakersfield Condors. And our Visioneer question comes from Leslie, and she asks, I've worked in the business for almost 15 years as an employee and now have the opportunity to own the business. What should I watch out for when taking the top leadership position?
Well, yeah, lots of different ways you can go there. Huh? I think, letting people know what you expect of them is a key thing, or the key thing. And we can look at a situation and maybe have something that's obvious to us is not obvious to you or other folks. So,
right.
Getting a team sitting down. Here's the obstacles we've got to overcome. Let's figure out together how we're going to overcome. Get the complete buy-in from everybody, and then let's all go pull the rope in the same direction.
How do you, or what is the process for helping or having or pulling everybody into a common vision?
Well, I think it's brainstorming and whiteboarding and saying no idea is a dumb idea. There actually are dumb ideas, but saying that and then going from there. Because a lot of times a dumb idea or a not great idea can be the brain seed of the bird seed of the embryo of a great idea, right?
Sure.
And when if you're trying to noodle something by yourself, no matter how genius you are, you're going to be limited. Whereas if you've got a group of people noodling it coming from varied experiences, because we all have different experiences and different things that shape us, that's the best way to solve a problem.
And speaking of crazy ideas and noodling ideas, at some point, somebody came up with this brilliant idea of taking an indoor game and taking it across town to Memorial Stadium at Bakersfield College, which is an outdoor football stadium, and you put on a game in the middle of the football field. And yet, it is still an event people are still talking about some 10 years later?
Our outdoor game was 4 years ago.
Okay, 4 years ago.
But, the NHL has been putting on outdoor games for at least a decade. And, it's kind of funny, when we were here, say 20 years ago in Bakersfield, we actually talked about, very jokingly, about putting out an outdoor game here in Bakersfield. And where would we do it? Well, you'd have to do it at Memorial Stadium because of the seating capacity and the configuration. The Edmonton Oilers were actually the first NHL team to play an outdoor game.
Really?
And it was in Edmonton. It was in the middle of winter, and I think it was about 30 below wind chill. And it was packed, which it wouldn't be here. Many years go by, and it's something we always wanted to do. And we saw the NHL put on an outdoor game at Dodger Stadium between the Kings and the Ducks. I went to that game, and I said, okay, we can do this. And then we just sat down and we figured out how to do it. And
right.
We went to BC and Bakersfield College, and they thought it was a great idea, and we made it happen. Ton of work, a lot of obstacles, a lot of roadblocks. I got lots of stories, but it was fantastic.
Let's talk about the difference between putting on a hockey game where it's going to be 32 degrees below zero in Edmonton, Canada, versus in Bakersfield where even in the middle of the winter it can get up to 70 degrees.
Yeah, and we've got to put an entire ice surface on a football field, all the chillers, all the equipment. Well over $1 million investment to get that done. We're also playing at Memorial Stadium, which is a great stadium with a lot of history and a great place to watch a football game and a hockey game. However, not the amenities that you would expect out of a facility today.
Right.
No Wi-Fi, very limited, restrooms, very limited food and beverage service. So we had to bring in porta potties and fencing and tons of food trucks and Wi-Fi, and we televised the game from there, and we brought in a video board. So the game was on January 7th, 6th and 7th. Mm-hmm. The 6th was a NHL alumni game and an all-star game. We had Luc Robitaille, Wayne Gretzky here, a number of movie stars here, and they played, and then the Condors game was played the next night. So we brought in a video board, because there's
you got to see them.
We got to see them. So the video board came from Times Square. It was used when the ball dropped New Year's Eve, and then it came out here on a flatbed. They did a site visit. The video board itself cost $30,000 to rent and put in place. So you can imagine all the other expenses that went in for the game. So they came out and did a site visit, and we're at the stadium. Yep, no problem. Here's what we're doing. Here's the quote. Okay, let's go. So it gets there. The night before, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the 5th, we've got the game on the 6th and the game on the 7th. Driver comes up and says, yeah, I can't get it on the football field. So because of the dip at BC where it goes down, and it's a flatbed truck. So we actually had to open up the fence, got plywood from the arena, and we were out there for 11 hours. It was raining.
Of course it was.
So we're out there, and the 18-wheeler would have got stuck in the dirt. So we're out there for 11 hours, about 10 of us.
Building a plywood highway.
So the video board could get on the football field. It was fantastic. It was terrible, but it was fantastic.
Did it make money?
We did not make money, and we learned some things. I mentioned the outdoor game in Edmonton that was packed and it was freezing. Here it rained and people stayed home. The people that came out had the time of their life.
I was one of them. We had a great time.
It was a lot of fun, and the fact that most of these hockey players grew up playing outside, obviously,
right,
in northern parts. So they're used to playing outside, but not in a rainstorm or in a snowstorm. So the rain was coming down. We had doubled the chillers necessary at the stadium here because of the threat of it being sunny and 70 degrees,
right,
not necessarily the threat of a monsoon. And so that helped freeze the rain more as it hit the ice. Now, it was still a mess, and it was on ESPN, and it was a beautiful mess, though. And it was in the second period, and I just happened to be standing between the player benches, and the refs came over and said, we're going to take them off the ice. And worried about the safety of the players. These are highly paid professional athletes in a lot of cases. And the players were like, no, we're having a blast. This is great. And the coaches kind of looked at each other, and everything's outdoors, so you can talk to each other and everything. And the guys were like, well, if the players want to play, I'm good with it. Are you good with it? And the coaches said, yeah, we're good with it. So they kept playing. And, it was a great event. Not as many fans as we would have liked, but we wore different jerseys each period that night with our different logos. We had our oil drop logo, we had our bird only logo, and then we had our condor primary logo. And the idea was we were going to have multiple jerseys to auction to raise money for local nonprofits.
Right.
So instead of just having one set, we had 3 sets of jerseys. Well, it poured in the second period. We go in the locker room. We change into dry jerseys. The other team didn't have a backup set of jerseys. And our goalie had a backup set of equipment. So he changed into dry equipment. So we're down 2-0 going into the third period. We came out, we scored 2 goals in the third period to tie it up, won it in overtime. And you can bet I went into the locker room after the game and told the guys, yep, this is where promotions can win you a hockey game. And they were totally in agreement.
You learned a lot from this particular failure, as it were, and you have a wonderful story to tell about it. But there is also an annual event that Condors Town does that is actually very successful, and you've done it since, I believe, the second season of Condors, and it's the infamous teddy bear toss.
Yep, everybody loves teddy bear toss. A lot of people say, if I come to one game a year, it's teddy bear toss. Great tradition, and glad we can do it for the community.
Where did you get the idea for that?
Well, like a lot of good ideas, stole that one from another team.
Okay.
And after our first year, I was at a promotional conference, promotional seminar with minor league sports teams and trading ideas, and saw a video of this from a minor league team up in Canada and said, hey, let's give that a shot. So we didn't really know what to expect. We did it here. We got some media partners. We got people on board. We got the United Way, and just got the word out and said, bring a bear, bring a stuffed animal. When the Condors score their first goal, throw it on the ice. People like to throw things, right?
Sure.
So we did it, and we were ill prepared. There were over 2,000 bears the first year. We had no idea how to clean the ice. We finally got the bears off the ice. Mm-hmm. And then, well, what do we do with them? I mean, transporting 2,000 stuffed animals,
Can't exactly put them in the back seat of a Volkswagen Bug. No.
Not going to do it in your trunk. So we were playing Fresno, and the bus driver, we talked to the bus driver about putting the bears on the Fresno team bus, driving it over to the facility and coming back. And it was early enough in the game that he could do that and get back for the team to go back to Fresno. And so we did it. A lot of people on board there, and I still remember, looking at the bus driving away with the stuffed animals' faces smashed up against the glass.
Well, and I'm glad the bus driver got back in time, because I could just imagine a bunch of Fresno hockey players trying to sit with a bunch of teddy bears on a bus. I could just imagine how that wouldn't work. Did Fresno win?
I doubt it. The Condors and the Falcons, it was a fun rivalry.
Right. So to add insult to injury, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to have your seat with a bunch of stuffed animals because you lost.
You got it.
But one of the things that you also mentioned in all of this is teamwork, because you talked about building the plywood highway with 10 people so that you could get the video sign in. And you also talked about having to work with the bus driver to transport the teddy bears, and the staff trying to figure out how to get all the teddy bears off the ice. This is the consummate skill of a leader, is the ability to do that. Where did you first, well, for some of us, leadership is a learned skill. It's not something that necessarily comes innately. How did you learn, or where did you learn the skill of leadership that allows you to pull all these different people and resources together so that you can get a whole bunch of teddy bears off the ice and they don't have to go home with the Fresno players?
Yeah, I think it's a culmination of things. You need to share your vision. You need to have other people understand, your vision and kind of what their part is, and really get the buy-in to that. And
how did you learn this?
yeah, I think, I put a lot of credit in college and paying attention, and my communication classes at Emporia State and public speaking classes. That does not come natural to me at all, and it's really something you just need to do, or I need to do again and again and again to feel more comfortable with, and really excelling in anything is probably getting out of your comfort zone, and trying to understand your strengths and weaknesses, and where you can improve. And you can have a tremendous amount of work ethic, but if you really want to get something accomplished, you need a team. And if you've got a vision, and other people hopefully can add to that vision, or in an equal way, or even a more way, and come up with that, and then pull the rope in the same direction. So kind of telling a story, and when you go to maybe 23 years ago, telling somebody about a packed house, and for a hockey game, and 10,000 bears raining down. For somebody in Bakersfield, California, that might be hard for them to picture. So you got to tell them, this is what we're going to do.
Right.
And explain that vision, paint that picture. Picture's worth 1,000 words, and then here's how we're going to get there.
When we come back, we're going to go into more detail about the why of leadership and how it can apply to you and your business when we come right back. Your comments, your thoughts, your ideas, your suggestions are crucially important to us here at Small Business Celebration. In fact, the reason we are here at Condors Town is because several of you wanted to find out what the business behind professional hockey is like, and that is why we're here. So keep the comments coming, keep the suggestions coming, and reach out to us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and let us know what you want to learn about. Ask the questions you want to find out about, so that we can go ahead and continue this great program and bring you the information you want to learn. So reach out to us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram today. We're here with Matthew Riley, the president of the Bakersfield Condors, and our Visioneer question for the segment comes from Atrika, who asks, how do you find new ideas after being in the same business for 20 years to market your company?
Well, I think best practices in the industry, and in constant communication with partners. Our competition on the ice would be the Ontario Reign, or the San Jose Barracuda, or the Stockton Heat. But off the ice, we're all partners, and we're all trying to figure out how to make our product bigger and better. Communicating, stealing ideas, sharing best practices, whether it's the AHL, the NHL, baseball, football, you name it, the entertainment industry.
Sure.
And even other industries, how are they doing it? And a lot of we want to introduce new people to. We've been blessed with a great fan base, and I think most people know who the Condors are. But we want to give people continual new reasons to come out besides hockey.
Right.
There's only so many hockey fans. There's only so many sports fans, but everybody likes to be entertained.
Right.
So how can we take what's hot, what's happening, what's current, and make that relevant to Condors hockey?
One of the challenges that happens uniquely to the sports entertainment industry is that you're going to go through patches where the team isn't performing as well as the fans would like. And sometimes it's one game, sometimes it's an entire season. What are some of the practices to keep the marketing fresh, to keep people coming to see the games, so that the team can be successful, even if the win-loss record doesn't show it?
Yeah, well, I think the basic there is control the controllables and understand what you can control and worry about that, and don't worry about what you can't control. We don't plan on having a great team. The team on the ice, their goal is to win every game.
Right.
Off the ice, our goal is to sell every seat and to make sure all those seats that are sold, that the person there has a great time. Those are aggressive goals.
They are. Trying to sell out a stadium full seats every game is not easy.
But if you want to succeed, you shoot high and you aim for perfection,
right.
Knowing that perfection is not achievable, but that greatness is achievable. So let's aim for perfection. Let's hope we're great, and go from there.
One of the greatnesses, or a pair of the greatnesses that have come out of Condor Town, are some players who have written some business books about hockey that also mentions the Bakersfield Condors. Books are fundamentally important for development personally and in business. And tell us, first of all, what those two books are that are written by Condor alumni, as it were, and what kinds of books do you read to help nurture your growth in your position?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of great general leadership books, sales books, teamwork books, in particular the ones you're talking about. Ken Baker wrote a book, They Don't Play Hockey in Heaven, and he was a guy that was a collegiate goalie and had health problems, actually had cancer and was could have died, and fought his way back health-wise, and then worked out an arrangement where he could spend the year with us, be a backup goalie, and write a book. And so lots of great stories in there on Condors Town, particularly fans back in the day. And then the other one just came out. It's called King of Cheer, and it's by Cameron Hughes. And folks that have been to Condors games would recognize Cameron or know who he is. But not only is he at Condors games, but he's been at all kinds of NBA, NHL games, the Olympics. He's been on the Today Show. He's been at the U.S. Open. He's been at Wimbledon, and so he's got a ton of great stories. And it's a book about overcoming obstacles and mindset, and just you can do it, you can overcome it and be the best you can be, but certainly some great tie-ins to Condors Town.
More specifically, everybody seems to think that all of their own business or their own industries are unique unto themselves. And there is a book that has been very important to you in your development as the president of the Condors that on the surface is very specific to hockey. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Well, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit if I can. I kind of got my start in Chattanooga with the Chattanooga Lookouts, and there was a guy named Joe Engel, and he was kind of known as the P.T. Barnum of minor league baseball, and actually gave away a house at a game, had packed stadiums, and traded a player for a turkey one time, and just a lot of lore through him, and that's how I kind of cut my teeth. And then kind of followed by him was Bill Veck. Bill Veck had a Eddie Goodell that he signed to a contract, and was a little person, and a pitcher couldn't throw him strikes, and he walked him, and so promotions like that led to Mike Veck, and they've put out books, and that's kind of the fun of the game and the promotional end of the game. And then there's a guy named John Spolstra, who was CEO of the Portland Trail Blazers and a number of other sports teams, who has put out a number of books. And there's one, Ice to Eskimos, and he's got some other books. But he brings a lot of examples that are in other industries, whether it's selling cars or selling whatever, selling widgets.
Right.
And how you can relate that to selling tickets and selling fun and selling sponsorships, and how that relates to us. So certainly that's in my wheelhouse, and kind of the Bible of professional sports front office when it comes to sales.
Visioneers, you may notice we are in our third location. We are in the workout room, the gym, as it were, for the Condors. And one of the reasons we're in here is it's another location, another look into the inside of the annals of the Condor life. But this also serves another important purpose, and that is you like to work out on a very regular basis. And it's more than just physical exercise to keep you in shape. What do you do in here and why?
Well, I think, the physical exercise is what brought me to working out and probably what brings most people to working out. And I don't necessarily enjoy the part of working out as much, but I know it's good for me. I don't want to have a heart attack. I want to be healthy. I want to do the right thing. But really, is what it's happened has been good for my mind and mind health. And I can't.
So?
Well, I just can't tell you how many what I think are great ideas and how many things that we've done here in Condors Town that kind of were started on where I was on the elliptical or the exercise bike or whatever, and it's whether it's just a chance to clear your mind, and whether it's you're stretching or doing yoga or praying or whatever it is. To me, exercise is the way to kind of clear that mind and think clearly. And it's amazing where you might have issues or problems or whatever, and you can only do so much sitting at the desk, and sometimes you need to get away, and by sweating a little bit, whatever it is, I think things can become a lot clearer, and they usually do.
What gets you up every morning to come to work?
Yeah, I love coming to work. I mean, blessed to be in the entertainment industry, professional sports, fun. I'm thankful to be in it. It's probably a industry and a job that a lot of people, would think that would be fun.
Right.
It's not all fun. Obviously, no position is. There's hard work and grunt work and a grind. But how you look at things, and a lot of it's really the people that we work with, and whether it's in any industry. I think that goes a long ways. And again, within this community, our fans, the season ticket holders, and our sponsors, our partners, they're partners, whether it's Three-Way Chevrolet or Mission Bank or Dignity Health, Stinson's, Advanced Beverage, W.A. Thompson, American Business Machines. I mean, I almost hate listing them because I'm going to leave off so many people.
There'll be one that you'll forget, and they will let you know.
There's a lot more than one. I
Right.
mean, it's almost an endless list, and that they help. They're a lot of what goes on here in Condors Town, and we couldn't do it without them, and wouldn't want to do it without them. And yeah, they're business partners, but they're friends.
If Visioneers want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
324-PUCK is the phone. Matt R. at bakersfieldcondors.com. Our website's condorstown.com. LinkedIn. Love to hear from anybody. We love everyone in Condors Town.
Well, Matt, this has been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on Small Business Celebration, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mike.
It's a new year and a new you. This is the year you communicate your business more clearly, more succinctly, and more effectively to your clients, your customers, and your employees. Set your business ahead of COVID and ahead of your competition by joining Toastmasters. Toastmasters, the fun and relaxed group of leaders who will help you get ahead. Go to toastmasters.org and click on the Find a Club button and set your business ahead of COVID and ahead of your competition. Go to toastmasters.org and click on the Find a Club button. That's toastmasters.org and click on the Find a Club button today. Who is a Visioneer? A Visioneer is a business leader who is a pioneer that has vision. A Visioneer is someone willing to see the world not as it is, but as it could be, and is willing to do something about it. A Visioneer is ethical, smarter, faster, and leaner than the mainstream competition. A Visioneer gives value first because Visioneers are in the business for the long haul. Visioneers understand the difference between saving money and earning a profit. Visioneers define their destiny. Visioneers create their own luck. Visioneers surround themselves with successful, like-minded people. Visioneers are renegades who defy the mainstream competition and are ready to change the world. Are you a Visioneer? Join the Visioneer tribe with Small Business Celebration on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram today.